Hello beings, existences, and non-existences. I am standing today in this video because I have a lot of energy. I'm also talking just a little too fast, and that is because I am socially drained, and I don't know how to talk properly. If I seem a little bit more charismatic than normal, it's probably because I'm standing up. And this is what I do all day in my room. I stand up and I talk to myself, because talking to myself is cool. Today I am doing a mask tour, because I have a lot of masks, and want to show you guys all of them because they're cool, and a lot of them I made. Like, most of them I made. Like 18 of them I made. That's a lot of masks. This one I didn't make. We'll get into that. If you don't know who I am WestWindPaws on YouTube. You can call me Zephyr or Finch, and I'm literally just a dude. Literally just a little wolf guy on the internet. Enough, like, messing around, I guess. Let's show y'all some masks. I'm gonna start off with masks that I didn't make, that I bought from who knows where. I'll tell you where, don't worry. And if you notice me kind of teleporting around, it's because I have two houses, and my masks are split among the two of them. So that's why I will be in two locations randomly throughout the video. So this is the first mask that I didn't make. It's actually the most recent mask that I bought. It was made by Muesli on Etsy, and her YouTube handle is Kibbles the Clown. This is commissioned. It is meant to look like my wolf stereotype, and I think it does it justice. It's one of my favorite masks, actually, and I would like to show you the inner workings of it, and it just in more detail. So the eye mesh is black. It's kind of hard to tell when I'm not wearing it, but it is black. And then it has some very nice soft fur, a flat nose, but it's very cute, and I love it so much. The fur, there's like a fur pattern because of the way it was, I presume, brushed out. The felt was brushed out before it was painted. The inside is fully lined and has very comfortable elastic. I have a safety pin on there right now just because the elastic was a little bit too long for my head size. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite masks. It actually also has a hook to hang it up easier too. But yeah, definitely one of my favorites. You should go check Kibbles out. Her work is amazing. So this is a mask that I got from Birdie Dogs, or Birdie Dog Shop on Etsy, and honestly it's one of my favorites. I do really like it. My only issue with it is that it's very close to my face, and the visibility is not the best. So it is, I don't wear it for very long just because of those things. But I also added a little accessory to it. It's just a little Coke, bottle lid. I forgot what they're called. But yeah, this is honestly really cute. I also added this little bracelet that my sister made me. The inside is lined with this tie-dye fleece, and I really like it. This is this little safety pin situation is just so that I can hang up the mask. But I do really like this mask, despite its slight discomfort. I think it's really cute, and red foxes are actually my favorite animal. This is just a mask that I bought off of Amazon, on a whim. I really like it, but I kind of just like it more as decoration. I don't know, I've worn it in a couple videos, but definitely not my favorite mask. The quality's okay. The fur is really soft though, and I don't know, I think it just looks really cool. Kind of fits my aesthetic. Really nothing special about the inside of it. It's just plastic. It is relatively comfortable though, and it's pretty breathable, so that's nice. This is another mask that I just got off of Amazon. I added some fur to it just to make it look a little nicer, and honestly I really like it. From the front it looks really nice. The side, a little questionable, a little flat, but I bought it because I didn't have any wolf masks, and I really wanted something to represent my wolf stereotype at the time. But yeah, a lot of beings say that it's kind of creepy because you can see my eyes. I personally really like that though. It's actually one of my favorite parts of it. And the inside isn't really all that special. I did add like a little felt like strip so I could hang it up though. Alright, now I am going to move on to masks that I've made, which is the majority of them. So let's get into that. Alright, so this was actually my first mask ever. Now, fun fact about this is, you know those tails that they sell at the fair? Well, I had one, and my cat, destroyed it. And, I thought at the time that it was faux fur, so I was like, okay, I'll use it on my mask. It's not faux fur, it's real fur. So there is real fur on this mask, which is, weird to think about, to be honest. Interesting looking snout. It's meant to be a silver mask. It's meant to be a silver fox mask to represent my silver fox stereotype. I am not going to be wearing it because, I don't know, there might be like demons in there or something. But the eye mesh is questionable. The eye mesh is actually from my screen door. I asked my mom first. She said yes. She said I could have it, so, you know. It was also made using one of those like hard plastic ones. Like this. This is probably indestructible. I don't know, I could probably throw it at a wall and be fine. I have, actually. Not my favorite, of course, but it does hold a lot of memories. I had a TikTok account with like 18,000 followers with this mask, so hey. This mask is the second ever mask I've made. And honestly, I think for a second mask, it's pretty good. This fur is actually made of yarn. These whiskers are all made of hot glue. It used to have real cat whiskers on it, because I like to use real cat whiskers on my personal masks. This nose is actually made out of hot glue. I used to have paper eyes. If you go back to my really old videos, if I have any of them up still, the eyes were actually made of paper, and there was a little slit that I could see out of on the side. The inside of this mask is incredibly disgusting. As you can see, it is very sweat stained. This is my little like shop symbol though, from my Etsy shop, WestWindPaws. It's the symbol I still use today. Fun fact about that symbol, it's from a language that I made up, and that's the letter Z in that made up language. Back to this mask though, really nothing special, but it does hold quite a few memories for me. Next up is this golden retriever mask. Now I'd like to mention that I'm not going in order of when I made these because I don't remember that. This mask is actually not one of my favorites, but it's definitely an improvement from my first golden retriever mask. This is the second one I've ever made. It has a bone, which is a real possum bone that I found on the train tracks. These ears are a little interesting. They're not floppy really, they just are like that. And these eyes are actually brown. They look black in most lighting though. And this nose is squishy because it's made out of foam. The inside of this mask does look really interesting, because I have this green like upholstery foam, and then it had like a cardboard snout. And you might be like, what is that? What is this thing? That's actually the only wire I had at the time was from those fake flowers. So that's what I used for the wire in the ears to just kind of attach them. It used to have worse elastic, but I did replace the elastic and make it more comfortable. And then I used elastic here to have the bone, you know, against the jaw. This is my border collie mask. It's the only border collie mask I've made that's like this. Now, he did have eye mesh that was velcroed in. I just don't know where it is. I lost it. So now, you know, here we are. I honestly like it more without the eye mesh though. Fun fact about this mask though is I was trying to make it a waterproof mask, and it probably is. The base is plastic. It's made with, you know, like EVA foam and like stuff like that, but I haven't tested it. I don't really want to. But in my efforts to make it waterproof, I was trying to use as little hot glue as possible. So the EVA foam in this mask is primarily connected with wire. I basically sewed the EVA foam together with wire. That was a pain in the ass, but I mean, it works. The nose is also made out of EVA foam, This is the only nose I made like this, but it's still really cute, and I like it, so. But yeah, paint job's relatively simple, and this mask is actually what made me awaken as a Border Collie Therian. So, yeah. The inside of it's really nothing special, but this is where the Velcro for the eyes was. There's some of it's there, you know, and then you can kind of see the wire inside. It's kind of lined, but also kind of not. But yeah, sometimes the fur likes to bend in on itself too. Another thing about this mask is that the ears are totally bendable. I just prefer to have them all down all the time because they look kind of weird if they're like all the way up. And then this is an earring from my grandma's like earring collection. It's just like a clip-on earring. This mask is called Beetle. It's literally just my black cat mask, and it's named after my cat, who's a black cat named Beetle. She's really cute. This used to look different. Her fur used to actually just be made out of yarn, and my attempt with making this mask is like, I literally just wanted to see if I could do bendable ears, and I did figure it out technically. They're just, you know, yeah. But I added more wire to them when I refurbished this mask, and I also added new teeth, and her eyes are removable. So this is what it looks like with the eyes removed. Shows a lot of my face, holy crap. This is the closest y'all are getting. I also added like a little magnet in there, which is how this little thing is staying on. If you're curious where I got this sword, I made it. So I designed it and 3D printed it. But yeah, this is honestly like not one of my favorite masks. I do like it more without the eye mesh. But I think it's really cute. Even if it's not one of my favorites. And this is what the inside looks like. Really nothing special. You can see the cardboard that I used to hide the ear holes when I cut the original ears off. These little pieces of, what's it called, fleece, are where the magnets are for the eyes. So yeah, these eyes are actually just magnetic. They just go in like that. That's how I do all of my removable eyes now, because it really is just the most reliable way to do that. Now, this is my favorite personal mask of mine. It is based off of my Maine Coon cat stereotype, and it is the second version of the second ever mask I made, which you saw earlier. It has a little nose ring, which is actually an old earring that I just, put in there. Has little teeth, and I spent a lot of time on the markings, and I'm really proud of them. I even painted this faux fur to have stripes in it, so it looks a little bit more cohesive. This fur was actually stained, so I stained it using acrylic paint. Basically, what I mean by that is I just watered down acrylic paint and then put it onto this white fur to make it less white. These ears are actually bendable, which I think is something that I don't usually talk about, but they're technically bendable slightly. These whiskers are real cat whiskers. Cats shed their whiskers, so it's not like I'm stealing them, but like when I see one, I'm like, oh, a whisker. This nose is made out of foam clay. Definitely my favorite way to make noses. I think they're cute, especially since I seal them with a semi-gloss Mod Podge, and it looks really nice. This is one of my only lined personal masks. Now, it's not lined very well. If you buy a mask from me, the lining will be better because I put more effort into that. So, just to let you know. But it definitely is a lot more comfortable with the lining. And yeah, it looks really nice. The ears have fur on the back of them as well. And another cool thing that I forgot to mention is that these scars on this are actually raised. Used other pieces of felt and glued them on top, so you can kind of see it's a more scar-looking effect. This was actually my third silver fox mask. Honestly, I still really love her. The only thing I don't like about her is that her nose is very straight and doesn't go down as much as I'd like it to. And also, there is kind of a blind spot right in front of me. But her nose is made out of foam, and she actually has an earring, has a little nose piercing. Her Her fur is made out of yarn here and in the inner ears, and then she has like faux fur on the sides. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will recognize her just because she was my main mask for a long time. So this is the inside of this mask. Kind of interesting. So she used to just have a solid like cat mask, little nose there, as they all do. But I actually ended up cutting that out to be able to breathe better. This is some foam to keep me from, you know, like having my forehead really on the mask. Something to know about me is I hate having stuff on my face, which is ironic. And then you can see here, this was before I started cutting the ears off of my masks. So you can see the original cat mask ears with the foam on top. But yeah, not the prettiest inside, but still honestly one of my favorite masks. Especially just because of the like nostalgia. Not even nostalgia, just like attachment I have to her. And then we have Star Butterfly from Star vs. the Forces of Evil. I had a huge obsession with this show for like 3 weeks, which resulted in this mask. Basically, I just turned Star into a cat. This mask is based off of her outfit, like these little horns, which are actually magnetic. Yeah, they're just little magnets. But they come off and they're based off of the headband that she wears. The hair is also magnetic, but I gotta admit she looks really weird when bald. Yeah, not the best look, if I'm gonna be honest. There are also real cat whiskers on this mask as well. As I said, I like using the real whiskers for my personal masks. This is another like fully lined mask of mine. It looks really weird, and because of the way I lined it, I can't put my nose in the nose bit, really, so it doesn't fit on my face very well, which makes this one of my most uncomfortable masks. But I did line the ears with a nice gold felt. Yeah, honestly, I really like this mask. I don't have very much attachment to her, but because I'm not really interested in the show now, but I think I will probably keep her unless I find a friend who wants her, but I don't think I can sell her because of like her not being my like official character, like my personal character. So, but yeah, she's really cute. This is my first ever golden retriever mask, and a lot of beings say that they actually really like him. I don't. He's got a squishy nose and floppy ears, so that's kind of cool. The side profile's not too bad. I don't know, he's just not one of my favorites. His snout is entirely squishy because it's just made of foam, so I can like squish him like that. I usually keep him in a corner of my room, exiled from being displayed properly. And this is what the inside of him looks like. It was actually made with one of those like fox mask bases instead of the cat ones, which is why it looks so interesting here. And I cut a little hole out so I could breathe a little bit better, but it doesn't really help. This was my second version of my silver fox mask, and it's not my favorite, but I honestly like have some weird attachment to it. All of the fur is like made of yarn, and has like a little squishy nose. This is also squishy, which is interesting. Honestly, the coloring's not too bad though. The shape is just very strange, but I honestly kind of like it in a weird like cryptid kind of way, if that makes sense. The inside on this one isn't really too noteworthy either. You can see how I used to do the ears, you know, with the foam on top, and then the nose hole so I could like breathe better, even though it doesn't really help all that much. Honestly, not too bad. It would be better if the snout wasn't so crooked. This is Bakari. A lot of you may recognize her. She's really special to me. I made her at a, you know, difficult time in my life, and I don't know, I really like her. I kind of just made her. She's not really any specific animal, but I've usually just called her an African golden cat because it's kind of what she looks like. Although African golden cats have blue eyes, so I don't know. But she also kind of gives me like lion vibes, like lioness vibes, so I don't know. She has this little charm that I made for her. This has been on her since I made her. And then I added fur to her ears and like changed the fur on her sides a couple months ago. And then she also has real cat whiskers. And these markings are glow in the dark. So if you look very faintly, you will be able to see the faint like greenish white glow. So yeah, that's just kind of cool. The inside really isn't that crazy either. There is just foam to keep my eyes away from like the eye mesh. And then also I didn't really do a whole lot of ear extensions on this mask either. So I just used cardboard. And the felt is actually some really crappy felt because I just had it lying around. So this is Misty. Again, some of y'all may recognize her. I don't really wear her very often, but her coloring was done entirely with markers. Now, they weren't alcohol markers, so she is not waterproof at all. In fact, if any water gets on her, her coloring will come off. Something funny about the markers on the fur is I used a gray marker, but it looks kind of blue. But honestly, I kind of like it. It looks really cool. I did use acrylic paint for her eyes, just because, you know, the marker really didn't work very well. Fun fact about Misty is I used the markers because I was actually very inspired by Amber, because she uses markers on her masks, and I was really sick at the time. I had mono, and I was like, I hadn't made a mask in a long time, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a mask for myself because I don't want to sell a mask that I made, you know, when I have mono. That's like not cool. But yeah, so I made this mask and I was like, just because I wanted something to do, and like I love mask making so much. There's nothing exciting about the inside, just a little bit of foam, my little signature there. And she has real whiskers as well. And you can put like jewelry through her nose. This is Aspen. He is incredibly hard to talk in because of the way I did the mouth, which is whatever. So sorry if my speech sounds a little silly right now. He has 4 sets of ears, and this fur is actually relatively new. It was in his design, I just didn't really add it for a while. He was kind of like a fursona for a while, but then I was like, actually, he's more of just like an OC. So, yeah, he's really cute. I have a tail and paws that match with this mask, and I'd love to see him made into a fursuit, but I'd rather get like Soul made into a fursuit because Soul is literally so me. But yeah, honestly, he's pretty cute. He's a little foam nose. He's one of my older masks, actually. His ears are floppy, which I think is awesome. The inside of him looks a little crazy, actually, but it's not lined, just foam here for comfort. And then you can see, again, how I used to do ears with the foam. But yeah, honestly, he was really fun to make and fun to design. This blue fur is all yarn too, so yeah, it just goes to show like how well yarn fur really holds up. This is Atlas. Honestly, probably one of my favorite masks. I just think his design is really cool. It's pretty simple, but I don't know, I just really like it. His eyes are made using a mirror film, which is why they are reflective. The star and like all of the spots are glow in the dark as well, so I'm gonna see if I can show that to you also. So again, you can kind of see, not too well, but yeah, I don't know, I think the glow in the dark feature is so cool. I was actually inspired to make this mask because of a yarn tail that I made that I was actually going to sell, but I decided to keep it for myself after it had been like up for a while. And his nose, you can put like stuff through it. Sometimes I put like one of those like little worm on a strings through it, but I don't have one in there right now. His ears are not floppy, they're just glued down because I was just using fabric scraps. This is another one of the masks that I actually ended up lining. His visibility is really good. It's basically just like wearing sunglasses. And then there's also some foam on the forehead just for some extra comfort. This is my newest silver fox mask, and honestly, I really love her. She's great. By the way, I refer to my silver fox masks as like with she, her, because I generally perceive my silver fox stereotype to be female. She has a little like ring through her nose, and then she has whiskers. She has piercing on her ear, and on this ear too. She has 2 for her snout, and also for Atlas's snout. I used WestWindPaws muzzle pattern, which is free, and it works really well. Her eyes are technically removable, but I always keep them in because she just looks really weird without them. I think the inside of this one looks pretty creepy, to be honest, but it's pretty comfortable in there, very snug. The back of the ears are fully furred. They're not bendable, they're just furred because, I don't know, that'd be fun. And I will not be taking the eye mesh out just to show you because it's kind of annoying to put it back in, to be honest. But yeah, honestly one of my favorite masks. I just don't wear it very often. This is Xyleal, and I would get into why it was made, but that's pretty personal, and I'm not ready to talk about that on here. But honestly, I love its design so much. Also, the antennae are so cute. I ended up wearing this mask to a cat convention, which was super fun, and that's actually where I got this purple worm, which has a bell on it. I don't know if you can hear it. But the whiskers are made out of like tinsel, and so are the little like fur in the ears. And the tinsel is from those like balloon like holders that they have for like birthday parties and stuff. And then the inside's really nothing special, just some foam again. And then this is when I started using EVA foam for ears, so I wasn't entirely used to it yet, but I think it turned out pretty well for my first time. Hi, Beetle. Beetle really likes Xyleal as well. This is Ambrose. He is my newest personal mask, except for the commission from Kibbles. And honestly, like one of my favorites for sure. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking, by the way. There's a lot of noise in my house right now. But he has one nose ring. I can't count. And then this real opossum bone, again, found on the train tracks. All of this scar is made out of foam clay that I just molded around the eye. And I actually can see pretty well out of this mask, despite this eye being so, like, squinty. His ear is incredibly tall, and it has a little tuft at the end, and he's got a lot of fur. Also, this fur is magnetic, so he can be bald, but I prefer to have him with hair. This one is fully lined. No, again, not lined as well as like my masks would be if I were selling them. And I didn't line this part of the ear because, wow, that would take a while. And I love how I did the nose. Recently, I've been molding the noses right onto the felt before painting everything, and it does make a very cohesive look. And again, he has real whiskers. Last, but certainly not least, this is my wolf mask that I made, and honestly, probably one of my favorite masks, if not my favorite. It's definitely a tie between this one and my Maine Coon cat mask, like the second version of it. I think some of my favorite things are just like the layering of the fur. So this fur starts at the ears and kind of curves down, and also there is a whole layer of white fur underneath this gray, which I think adds a lot of dimension. I also really like the sculpting of the mask itself, and I think the ears are awesome. Has little like wire to look like earrings there, and 2 nose rings, which kind of look like a moon to me, so I think that's cool. This little fur piece is removable. I usually keep it on, but honestly I think it looks just as good without it. And then the eyes on this mask are also removable, which you'll know if you have seen my cake video where I made a cake for 50k. And this is what it looks like without the eyes. I think it looks pretty good either way. The only issue I have with this mask is that it smushes my nose down a little bit, but honestly, it's a small price to pay for looking like myself. And yeah, this is a pretty accurate depiction of what I look like, I think. It really is hard to pinpoint the exact colors of my fur, especially with my wolf stereotype. I don't know, there's something about it that I have a very hard time comprehending the colors of my own fur. So yeah, But honestly, I think it looks pretty accurate and makes me feel like myself, which is nice. This is what the inside of this one looks like. It looks a little janky, to be honest, but not too bad. Ears have, you know, lining on them. Nothing too crazy. There's magnets inside for the eyes. I know what I'm doing. There we go. There's one of them, and then their other one is somewhere. But yeah, honestly, really nice. So that is going to be it for my mask tour. I hope that it was enjoyable and not too long. I just realized how long this video is going to be. Sorry, editing me. You're gonna struggle. No, it's kind of not like super interesting, but life has been very hectic for me. And I would just like to say that the masks that I showed in this location, you're not going to see a lot of them for a while. I'm actually in the process of moving. I'll still be staying with my pink bedroom, but this bedroom will be gone soon, which is unfortunate, but I will be keeping this wolf mask and Ambrose out because those two are my favorites at this time, and I would like to have a canine and a feline out. So that's where we're at with that. But yeah, I'll also be taking down a lot of my decorations and all that stuff. Not the point though. Just wanted to give y'all a heads up. So if if things are changing a lot in my background, that's why. But with all that being said, it is time to end off this video. So I hope you guys have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye!